The Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, is an inspirational hour that'll take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. Get ready to be transformed from Dr. Jenn's live guided healing meditations and intuitive readings, and unveil the power of connecting to spirit, the angels, and your higher self. Dr. Jenn is passionate about helping you find the answers you're looking for through an inward journey that'll strengthen your connection to spirit and help you trust your intuition. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jenn Royster.
Hello everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Dr. Jenn. Today we have a deep topic, but I find it to be a very important topic that will align us with those deeper wounds, the deep healing that we're trying to figure out pretty much our whole lifetime, sometimes several lifetimes, generations, ancestry, you name it. And today we're going to talk about Chiron, which is an asteroid that went retrograde today, the day we're airing the show live, July 15, 2021. This is the centaur in astrology, so to speak, and it represents the wounded healer. So it takes us deeper. It helps us to uncover and shed light, allow light in. And when I say light, just the positive healing energy of love, really, to allow it to just open up into those darker areas that we're really just trying to heal. We can't let go of, we're having a hard time, it holds us back, things like that. It's a deep topic, but a very important topic. And when I saw that it was coming up and it was going to be the same day as we were doing this show, I went, okay, that's good timing and we're going to do it. Because this will help you to transform what's causing all the pain into a healing experience. To actually choose to heal versus to continue to be in pain. Emotional pain, trauma pain, all of these different things that happen over lifetimes, over generations, ancestry, like I said, even in your lifetime, something from childhood or 20, 40 years ago, whatever it might be, if it's still causing you pain, it hasn't had the light shed yet on it completely. When I say that, sometimes these places deep within us are so deep, we just can't quite figure out where they are in the back of a very, very dark emotional closet, somewhat. So I found this to be an interesting topic today, and we're going to work with this energy. I want to connect you with this energy. I want you to understand that it's actually here to help you, not cause more harm. Now, people that don't even follow astrology, this is a great analogy. A lot of times I see things that go, well, how could that be? That just sounds like sci-fi, right? It doesn't really matter, does it? If it's bringing something to your attention in your consciousness that your subconscious, your soul, maybe has been trying to get your attention on for years, decades, then it's a win-win. Doesn't really matter. It matters that you're healing and it brought your attention to something, just like dreams do. So this is an interesting topic, it is. And we don't talk about asteroids a lot, but this one in particular is a pretty strong one. And so I want to give you some information on it because it went retrograde today, and what all that means. It went retrograde and joined 4 other planets already in retrograde. Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and Jupiter. That's a lot of energy mixed that's in retrograde right now. And just to refresh you, what is a retrograde? That means you're going to reflect back in that area. So for example, Mercury, when it goes retrograde, we hear about that one all the time. That one's about communications. This one has us reflect back on the past to learn and heal it, the deeper things that happened back in the day, so we can move on. So see, it'll take us back and we reflect. So if you've been having some things pop up that are from times previous, the past, or just things you're feeling. We talked about regret a couple of weeks ago. Big things are happening here with this energy. This is a very good month of energy for moving forward. Yes, it is. But it's also giving us opportunity with a more optimistic vibration to help us go to the deeper recesses so we can finally move on. So those 4 planets are with it as well. Now, a little bit about Chiron. That is spelled C-H-I-R-O-N. Okay, that's how it's spelled. I don't know. That's how I pronounce it. So, like I said, it takes us into the deepest wounds. It will help to shed light in the darkest areas that you have going on there. So it was a powerful, it's known as a powerful healer. Chiron is a very powerful healer, philosopher, so those wisdom quotes and, you know, all that deep thinking and, oh wow, yeah. Think of the analogies of what you can learn, like psychic abilities, the deeper psychic abilities, and then the teacher, a spiritual teacher that will really help you let go of the resistance of the pain. You know, we don't realize that we're staying in pain because we're holding on to it. This one helps with just that little bit of light. Just think of this: if your heart was broken, or you went through something like that, an emotional pain, just the slightest little bit of light to open up that heart chakra can move mountains for you. So that this is an opportunity to heal some of the most difficult inner wounds that we carry. So we're going to go over some of these things in detail, and then we'll open it up for questions and reads and things like that later in the show. I want to welcome everyone that's joining us today in the live chat. Let's see, we have Michelle, Robin, Maddie, Will. Hey, Will, I wasn't sure if you were going to make it because you're so busy. He's doing so many cool things. I'll let him share. This is a good topic, and I'm really glad he did show up because this is about the deep stuff, and he can go deep. Shadana, hello, Shadana. Good to see you. So let me keep going here. If this is the opportunity to heal the deeper wounds. Now think about it. If you closed your heart off because it was broken or you were betrayed or any of those types of things that the heart chakra holds, if you were to just let a little bit of light in, a little bit of positive, a little bit of the love, like not be afraid to allow love back into your life, for example. Sometimes we just like, I don't want to go there. That hurts so much. I get that. Been there, done that a few times. So, we start to shield up and close ourselves off to where we won't let anything back in. And now we feel like we're disconnected from it. And we feel that sadness. So this crack of light, just the slightest little bit, can sometimes open up everything. The channels start to flow, and it doesn't take a lot. Just think of that analogy with the mustard seed. The mustard seed, the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain. This is very much like that. Now, if it went into retrograde with all those other planets, now Jupiter brings some optimism, but it's reflecting back on the past. What can we be optimistic about? What did we learn from those things that caused pain? What did we learn? Did we learn anything? Did you allow yourself to see things from a different perspective? Things like that. So if Chiron is adding to this mix of reflective energy, now it shifts it to the forefront of, okay, we got to get these wounds out of the way. We got to get this deep stuff out of the way. We need room in our closets, so to speak, for something new, brand new, some new approach, a new direction. Maybe it's going to reconnect you with things that you had in your past that you didn't think were going to ever be again, or maybe there was pain connected to that. What if it's reconnecting you to find a way to do it differently? What if it's bringing that to the forefront? Now, this will stay in retrograde, by the way, until December 19. We've got a few months of Chiron working with us. I know that's Well, you can't do everything in one day. So if you think about it that way, that's going to give us some time to reflect and give us time to process it. So it's, like I said, it's an asteroid. It's not a planet. And it orbits between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn is the stern teacher. Uranus upsets the apple cart. So things can happen. It will disassemble. Pluto too, rebirthing. All of these planets are in retrograde at the same time. So it's a significant energy. Chiron is a significant energy to work with. It's known as a centaur, like I said, in myth. Okay, when you're looking at mythology, Chiron was abandoned at birth. This is the backstory of this, and left to fend for itself. So abandonment issues are associated with this one. And it was through the wound of abandonment that, and the difficult upbringing and just feeling like out there all on your own, that Chiron was able to rise up and turn the wounds into something positive and a portal, a direction to heal. That's what we can learn from this one. So I found that really interesting. We all have the ability to do the same thing that the story of Chiron has. We have this within us. We just have to allow it. And inside each of us, we have that ability to take something that was so painful, a pain point, a wound, whatever it might have been. A lot of times these are very emotionally charged. And we can turn them into a powerful source of energy that can direct us in a positive way. And sometimes we don't realize, oh, the things that were so hurtful or felt so negative and toxic can actually be some of the greatest teachings we can learn from. I know, the light can't exist without a shadow, really. There is no darkness without light. I mean, you shed light in something, there's no more darkness. They're the opposite of one another. So these are very significant energies. And there's a bridge. Chiron builds this bridge. It acts as a bridge to connect two different ways of being. And it's sometimes referred to as the rainbow bridge, like you're in this consciousness, but then you're in a subconsciousness, you're in a different state. I've heard the rainbow bridge used as a phrase when someone passes over or crosses over. I've heard it a lot. This is that state between your consciousness and subconscious, and being in a different reality, being in a different experience. So if you were to look at afterlife or souls that were just wandering, to be able to bridge that so you're not lost, and now you get over on the other side, that's what they're referring to. It really takes someone willing to face difficult things, memories, experiences, to see past it, to see what it can teach you. This is like deep soul growth stuff, okay? I know. I'm going deep. I'm going deep. And then as soon as I'm done today, I got to pull out all my paints and I just got to work on something because I need to paint. I need to paint. It helps me move energy sometimes. Last week I had to cut that garden and that took all weekend, but after the show, that's what I want to do today, is I just need to do that because I can feel things coming up for myself as well. This is not, it's not about being perfect. Think about it. It's not about being perfect. Like sometimes we just want to wait till it's all set and it's just right and then we'll do it. No, it's about healing. It's not being perfect. It's about healing. Honestly, if you think about what you avoid, or maybe, you're out there and you won't comment, or, if you're out on social medias or something, you don't comment, you don't say anything, you just don't want to get involved. And I'm not trying to say get involved in something you don't want to. I'm a peacemaker. I don't get involved in all the arguments either. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to show another perspective. I'm not here to be the activist. We got activists and that's what they do and we need those. And then you need someone that can just keep it calm too. And then we have empathic people that are feeling it all at the same time. And I know that I do sometimes. But I don't want to disconnect my empathic capabilities, because that's how I connect to do the intuitive work that I do. That's how I can see what I'm going to do in some creative project like painting, or what I'm going to do with the garden, or I can pick up, I'm going to tell you, I pick up that something's off with somebody, gosh, people that I know very well, at least a week to 10 days before they know it, and I'll go, what's going on with you? And nothing, you know, they don't say anything, nothing, I'm good. Usually by the end of that 7 to 10 days, then it comes up. But I could feel it already shifting. They might be coming down with something, they might be ill, they might be going through something. It's none of my business what it is, I can just feel shifts of energy. I don't want to take that away. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes that's very difficult to deal with and it wears me out. I've had to learn how to find balance in that, because you can be putting all of your energy into something 24/7, and now you're not doing it well because you're exhausted. I don't think that's the balance that the universe wants for us. I think it wants us to know the peacefulness, the happiness, the motivation to do a good job at whatever we want to do, to be creative, to move forward, to grow. I don't think that it wants us to just be all one thing. That's when it can upset your apple cart. So this is about transcendence. This is deep stuff. So it's good though. We can overcome and take a pain. That's what I love about this message. You can overcome something so painful that's been so difficult, and you don't want to move forward, or you don't want to let it go, or it agitates you every time it comes up or you think about it. And you can take that and you can find how it can empower you differently. That's healing. And when you realize, you know what, I just need to want to do that, that's a good start. I need to want to, you know, you need to want to let it go. I've even heard and felt this before myself. We're afraid to let it go. We're afraid we'll just be vulnerable again and it'll happen again. This is living on earth. We feel all of them. You don't want to shut love out and the joys of life because you're afraid of being hurt. So these are opportunities that are being amplified right now with this energy. It's bringing a great lesson to us. Whether you agree with astrology or not doesn't matter. It's the story, it's the lesson and what it brings up that can bring us a benefit. It can inspire, it can motivate, it can offer you strength, but you have to believe you're worthy. You can do this, you can let it go and move on. Maybe you are punishing yourself. You know, that happens too. We don't feel like we're worthy to let it go. We need to stay in the pain because of what our part in it was, you know, things like that. We have to let go. We reflect on the past, and I like that about astrology. I look for the soul lessons it can teach us and that I can share with you. Wounds are so painful, I know, but when we can reflect back with all these retrogrades and find something that can help us to move on and move better and identify, okay, that was the past, that was painful, but that was the choices I made then, and you can make a different choice now. Now you're cooking. Now you're going to move forward. Now you're going to lift up out of that. And to know that you can lift yourself up and you have this power within you, I think is phenomenal. We just have to believe it's there. So, I'm going to take a second here. I want to see how everybody's doing over there. So let's see. Okay. We have Connectory. Cool. I remember you. Haven't you been here before? I remember that. Let's see how we got going on here. Let's see. Maddie, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks either. Last couple of weeks have been so emotional with a lot of stuff coming up that I've been trying to process, especially past relationships. Yep. Does that relate to you, Maddie, about the heart being closed off? Like, you know, I'm going to use an example. In metaphysics, a heart attack sometimes is just, whoa, it just got cracked open to let light in because it was just so tightly closed. Not all the time, but that's one analogy of it. I'm not saying heart attack to you. I'm just saying that's an example. But if you were to allow love in because you're still holding on, the past relationships have just been, ugh. When you look at those past relationships, I'm asking, oh, I feel something. Okay, hang on. This is coming from Michael. You know how he's just direct, right? What's the common denominator? Are you attracted to the same type of personality? And does it keep having the same ending? I know that just came out of nowhere. You didn't even really ask me that, but I'm throwing that out there. I guess that, whoa, I didn't even see the second half of your question. Do angels have any advice for me on whether I'm healing it? And what I'm hearing is if you're willing to open up to something new, and maybe you don't even realize that it's a different type of attraction that you've been missing the whole time. Maybe you thought you were attracted to one type, but maybe it's something else. This is crazy. That's what I'm hearing. I've never heard stuff like that for you before. Think about that. I thought that was interesting. Let's see, Robin, I have been reading and journaling about abandonment and grieving. Okay, well, there you go. This is going to be good energy for you. I definitely recommend stopping and taking a moment to see what this energy that Chiron brings today, like, okay, what do I need to reflect on, and what can I do with something that's been so uncomfortable to remember or think about and move forward. We can use this retrograde. This is a good retrograde to use to not, what's the word I'm looking for? Sugarcoat a wound. You know, sometimes we just want to put it over there and cover it up or lighten up. No, I'm good. I'm really okay. That kind of thing. But maybe we really aren't. We have to be honest with ourselves on that. That suffering can lead. That suffering that you were feeling from the past can actually lead you to a completely different destiny. One that is really more in line with where your soul wants to be. Where you want to be. If you aligned your mindset with the soul's journey, there you go. Now it's all going to make sense. It's going to be in sync. And I've been thinking about that for the last few days, and I go, because I love to do a lot of things. Trying to figure out how to do them all at the same time is kind of interesting. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. So this one is, what has it taught you? So Robin, let's see. Okay, so Robin, think about what it's showing you with the abandonment or the grieving. We want okay, hi Will, we want Jenn to paint. Yay. Yeah, I'm going to. I got a really cool thing I'm doing. I know. Will's a great artist, guys, and we know each other from a social media that's very new. It's really more crypto. It's called BitClout. I've been over there exploring that, and if it wasn't for him, he's been my guardian angel over there, honestly, because it's crypto. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm over there exploring, and I have discovered some amazing connections over there. So, and he's one of them. So, thank you. Being modest. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. Agreed. Beautiful paintings. Thank you. I'm being very modest. You know, I'll be honest with you. My art was full-time at one time. So I'm working with that with Chiron right now because I went through a very painful time with that. But it's been one of my greatest teachers, and if it has to be part of me now. But every time I go to the easel, because I paint intuitively, I see things in things before they're there. It's the craziest thing. I'll just throw paint all over the place, and then it shows me, and then I go and pull it out. I'm sure a lot of artists approach things that way, but being self-taught, it was just an outlet for what am I seeing with all this energy. So my intuitive abilities and the gifts that I have that I share with you are very tied to art, very tied to creative outlets like that. So I'm working through that because they can be, there was a time when I was going through a really rough period in my life that every time I looked at my work, I didn't see very positive things in it. You see all the monsters and all kinds of crazy stuff in the paintings. Then it shifted. So I can tell where I'm at with what I keep seeing in it. I see faces and everything, all kinds of stuff. I'll see faces, I'll see emotions. It's because I'm seeing energy. And that's just an example of what we're talking about. So I'm working through that one, and I feel like the universe has connected me with people like Will that has helped me to heal that. And he doesn't know that, and he's going to be modest. So, but yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's see here. We have, what do we got here? So Maddie is saying agreed, beautiful. Okay. Megan, hi Megan. How is the speaking going? How are you doing with that? Everything you're sharing resonates completely. Okay. Shadana, I literally just had a conversation with someone yesterday that was triggered by me simply changing my mind. He lost it. When questioned about it, he brought up abandonment issues. Whoa. See, people that aren't even trying to work on their spiritual side of them, I mean, that's part of who we are. It's a big part of who we are. We're actually that more than we are this physical body, right? When they do that, as a lot of people are working on things and they don't even know that's what they're working on, that doesn't matter. They're just going through it. So let him go through what he's got to go through, Shadana. That's really crazy. Don't take that personally. That's something that he's working on within himself, and I can feel that. Now, hopefully, your painting and your new job is going well, because you were pretty charged up a couple of weeks ago. Jody. Let's see, Jody. Hi, Jody. I am in grief as well. 12 family members and 2 friends since last July. Both parents in October. Oh, my goodness. They've all passed? Is that what you're saying? That's a lot. I've had 4 family members in the last year. You know, relatives, but not, and then some that are just more like friends and family, things like that. So, but yeah, I know what you're saying, but of 12, that's a lot. So you are working with, I'm asking you a question that sounds kind of strange. It's coming up to me, Jody. The question, why am I still here and everybody else is gone? Or why am I in the, and you know what? When I lost a lot, when I was shifting and just opening up and being real to myself, there was a lot of relationships that fall away if you don't resonate anymore. And that's okay, you have to let them. And sometimes some are harder than others. But I noticed that when I did that, I was asking myself that too, like, am I in a different reality, or am I still here and they're not? Or, yeah, I mean, I was almost pinching myself sometimes. Did I die? Am I somewhere else? It's just processing the whole transition of where you are right now. So I'm getting the vibe that you have gone through huge shifts of awareness. And if they have all passed away, you know they're not gone. You know that I feel that they're with you, and you know it. I know that you must feel some of them are stronger connections than others. I feel that for you, very strong. Let's see. Okay, well, the pictures paint themselves at some level. Yeah, they do. They do, and yours do too, Will. I know there's a lot in yours too. Let me say this, Jody. I feel that you are learning and exploring a completely new reality. Sometimes we feel like, you know, when you look at, let's just look at reincarnation for an example. When you look at reincarnation, it's like you die, you come back, and you keep growing on a soul level, right? This particular lifetime that we're in, with all of the shift that started since 2012 or whatever, and here we are at 2021, and I think it's supposed to be a complete cycle by 2032. We're halfway in there already, right? This was about transitioning without leaving the physical body. It's like instead of dying, reincarnating, coming back, we stay and do this complete shift of soul level ascension. I know, sounds crazy, but it's not. And on some level, if you've been working on it And I know that I have maybe felt a couple of shifts that were, very powerful, that grew very strong, that just went there. I mean, like, how did I end up here? Okay. And like, why am I here? I have no connection to this. So, and then you go, wait a minute, now I'm seeing why. I'm learning, I'm discovering. And life has challenges. So one of the lessons, sometimes we come in here with these lessons in our lives, in our soul contract, where you're going to be like, for example, like I think they call it a 4, where you're balancing, and some will have, like in astrology, when you do that reading, it will have, this is a lifetime where you're going to learn how to let go. There'll be loss, but we learn how to let go. Obviously, some of that might be rolling in there. I know that I have had that one. I know that I contribute and I help people as much as I possibly can, but at the same time, I feel a lot of loss I've had over the lifetime. And I've had to hear, like, why do I keep losing that? Why does that keep happening? Well, once I realized, okay, I need to start redirecting my focus on, okay, I'm still here and all of that's changing, and you miss them and you love them very much and the whole bit, and you still do, but what can I do with that to be productive? What can I do while I'm still here? Once I started working that direction, it helped a lot. I'm giving you that. That's something from my personal experience that might help you. You do feel them. Yeah, they're there. And I still feel my dad. And I don't think even Will saw this, because I didn't send that to you, by the way. I did tag Galera, but I didn't send that one to you. It was a pastel drawing I did, and I put it up on my page over there. I kind of did it for the ladies, was sharing that with them, because it was 2 sisters. I'm the oldest of 3 sisters that my dad, he had his hands full with the girls. It was like 3 girls, yeah. I was the oldest, so I was the boss of everybody, of course, the babysitter, the older one, And so this was more of a painting for him, because he was just one of those dads that loved life. And he loved his girls. And he passed away in 2008. And I still feel him so strong. And I miss him. But at the same time, I have a different relationship with him. And I'm sharing that with you, Jody, because we can still have a relationship. They're going to be in their own space, and we don't try to keep them here or anything like that. But love transcends and crosses all boundaries. There is no limit to what love can reach. No matter what universe, what parallel, whatever it might be, what dimension, it doesn't matter. And they live and they find joy in us living our life to the fullest. So I wanted to give you that, because grief, you've got to go, we don't want to deny ourselves the grief. We don't want to deny it. At the same time, we want to walk through it with our head held up and know we are found inner strength to be better at what we are, at who we are, things like that. Shadana, let's see. Oh, she's referring to Maddie. Definitely been reflecting on the type of guy I tend. Okay, Maddie. Definitely reflecting on the type of guy I tend to be attracted to and how that always ends, but I'm having a hard time letting go. Yeah, this is about letting go. So Maddie, don't avoid this energy. This one will be one which you'll have to just sit, and you'll probably squirm a little bit with this one, especially when you don't want to let go, because it will be bumpier, but you can still do it. Because look, I've known you now for a couple of years, and you have grown tremendously. I've watched it. I've watched you grow so much through so many things. So I know you can do this too. And it won't challenge you with what you're not ready to do. It's all a choice that we have within ourselves that we can do. We absolutely have a choice, right? We absolutely have a choice. So here's a few things. I want to give you a couple of questions to ask yourself with the Chiron energy. I am so warm because I'm feeling you guys. Wow. Whew. I always get that way. Here's the thing. These are things to ask yourself, and it's kind of an exercise that can help you process this kind of energy and what you can do with it. So, if you were to ask yourself, what's the most painful thing that I'm feeling right now? I know. What is it? you've already been bringing some of them up. I saw that. What's the most painful thing? Jot it down. And then what are, say, 5 to 10 things that you could learn from it, or that it has taught you? Okay, something very painful, and what has it taught you? So you identify what that one is that's the most painful, and then what are 10 things you've learned? It could be that you've learned discernment. You know, oh, okay, you know, slow down. Don't just trust everything until you learn a little more, things like that. But look to see what it tells you. Put down what comes to your mind. Don't try to make it perfect or put down what you think it's supposed to say. Put down what's coming to your mind, because this is for your journey and your healing. Here's another one. Now that you're thinking about this difficulty, now you're looking, that first question was what's most painful today, right now? What's bothering you right now? The second, and then you're going to write down what it's teaching you, or you've learned from it. Maybe it's been recent. The second one is about from the past. What's the most painful thing from the past? I know, right? They could be the same thing. What if they were? Then you put it down. And if it was something from the past, has it inspired you to do something differently? What did it change in you? What did it motivate or drive you to do today, now? And how could you use that inspiration to move forward? See, these are things to think about. So, if it could talk to you, if it could say, okay, this is what you need to do, what would it say to you? Your pain point. What would it say? What would you answer if you were to finish a question or a statement like, I'm stronger because of this pain. This is how I'm stronger. Like, and list out, this is how you're stronger. This is how you're wiser. We have to sometimes acknowledge that we actually have been growing and learning, and give ourselves some credit for that. You know, you really have to give yourself some credit that you actually have been learning and growing. You didn't realize it. You just, you know, and you are worthy of it. Those are big deals. So let's see, going back to the chat. So Donna, okay, you too, on the, way you guys with the relationships. Let's see. I feel like I attract men who are attracted to me for my healing energy. They end up depleting me. Okay, just a reminder on that. That's the open empathic side, Shadana. Remember that. Remember that. I get what you're saying, because I've made that mistake too. I need to learn how to discern when this is happening. Yep. You will. I think you have learned a lot in the last year as well. And sometimes they see, when you have an energy that's very light and someone is starving for that, yes, sometimes they don't even realize it. So it's where you're saying no sooner is what it feels like. You need to say no sooner or quickly, or go slower. Maybe go slower. It feels like slower for you, Shadana. Maddie is going slow enough, almost so slow that she's not making any choices. I know, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you. That's what it feels like. Shadana, that's the same thing I've noticed in a lot of emotional unavailability that results in me not necessarily feeling like my emotional needs are met either. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff, right? That's a lot of intense energy and a lot of pain. We need things from relationships, but here's the thing. If we're trying so hard to make sure they're good with us and accept us, are they really seeing your true self? Are they seeing who you really are? And when we, you know, sometimes we just don't want to show that, right? No, I'm not talking about violating your privacy. We have to shield up in new relationships a little bit. You have to shield up a little, just till you get to know them better and let them in slower. And I know you know what I'm talking about, right? You do. I know you do. Oh my goodness, guys. The relationships are intense. This is a good one for healing. But hardship and pain from the past can teach us what we can do better now. I understand and feel what you guys are saying, because, man, I have been through it too. I mean, we're all human, and we go through these experiences and we think, oh, did I just trust the wrong one? Yeah, probably. But what can we do to heal and grow from it? And we gotta stop kicking ourselves about that. So this energy of Chiron, remember, this is about taking the pain in the wound and transcending it, allowing it to show you a different way, allowing it to open you up, let the light in, so you can let go, like Maddie was saying. Or in Shadana's case, maybe just slow down, and I don't have to rush. I can just enjoy a little bit slower pace with something like this. Because if you were to do that, it would just really make a huge difference. Maddie, why do you think that you're having trouble letting go? Why do you think that? I'm going to ask you that. And Shadana, instead of shutting down so quickly, I've learned to go slow and feel it. Okay, good. So Shadana, you are saying that. Good. Maddie, why do you feel like you're having a hard time letting it go? What's the biggest thing that comes to you when we talk about the pain points? What's the biggest thing that comes to you on that? And I'm asking, I'm going to wait a few minutes and see what comes up. So I'm going to keep going here, because I want to give you a couple of more tips, and we're going to work with, now Michael is really good for this. Archangel Michael, if you like to work with the angels, Michael's good for letting all the pain go. Remember that. But he's not doing it for you. He's just going to be with you. You won't be by yourself when you let it all go. You can let him carry it away, however you want to visualize that. And you know, I did a painting once of Michael, because I work with him a lot. I don't know what I would have done without him. And it ended up being very loose, and he just looked like, okay, I just need to take a time out. You know, it's kind of funny how it ended up turning out, because I felt like, okay, what about this? What about that one? And this was when I was a child, because I've always had this connection with angels, seen them and things like that, and they've been there. And when I saw this about Chiron today, it reminded me of when I was 5 years old. And I know some of you might have heard the story before, but you know, I fell, and I was playing with my sister and I fell, and bumped my head, and so it caused a concussion I went totally blind, complete blindness, and I was 5 years old, you know, like, whoa, this is crazy. In the hospital, right? And my mom, I wake up after hours and hours of, I could hear and I could feel all these people around me and touching me and grabbing at me, and I'm pretty hysterical. I'm 5 and I can't see anything. Just can hear it all. And then the next thing I remember is I wake up in a hospital room, and I was so small, they had me in one of those hospital beds for children with the bars, like a crib. My mom's slumped over in the chair asleep. But during the night, I had a visitor, and what I thought was a nurse or somebody in white came in and said, "It's okay." I was crying. "It's okay, you're good," and gave me a flashlight. And I know now that this was an angel giving me light in the dark. I'm going to be fine. I'll be okay. Well, I wake up and I see Mom over there, and the flashlight was still on the stand. My parents lost it. They said, "Nobody's been in this room." They checked with the nurse's station, my description. Nobody had heard of this nurse. Nobody knew anything about this. But this I knew was an angel coming in to just, "It's okay, here's a light, so you're not in the dark." And it was that simple. And every time I think about with Chiron, I go, okay, why did I experience that? And at such a young age. And I still think I'll never forget it. I'll never forget what that felt like. And then to have them come in and just say, "It's okay, we're going to be a light for you." So I will never, feel like they're never there or that they don't hear me. They do hear me. They're always there for me. And I appreciate that I can see now. I know people that can't, or you can't hear if you've lost a limb or something. But it's not, it's just the physical. Because there's still this other side of you in spirit, in your soul, that is completely, everything's there. It can do it all. And that made me think, okay, I went through that, and I've gone through many other emotional things and things like that, but it really was opening doors and showing me that, no, things are not as they appear, or sound, or whatever. They are exactly either there to teach us or to help us grow, or that showing us a direction to go. And they just said, no, you're good, we got you. So I want everybody to know, you may go through different things in life, but you may find that life is really hard. And if you're grieving or going through a lot of loss, I totally hear you. Allow yourself to process that. That's a lot. There's no answer to how people, they say, oh, there's all this to grief and there's that to grief. I think we all process grief the way we need to process it, but allow yourself, what I'm going to say is allow yourself to process it. We have to. It could be grief of losing a relationship. It could be grief of losing family members to a death. I understand that. It could be just about anything. Grief is grief. We are feeling a loss. But with this energy, we want to look at that loss, and we want to look at whether it's abandonment or whatever it was. We want to see where we can transcend this. We want to see, all right, I'm worthy to take that experience and make that shift and change and motivate me to something differently. When you are willing to go there and do that, you've already started your healing process. You're halfway there, honestly. You are. It's a lot. This is Chiron in Aries, too, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier. Chiron in Aries, that's motivated and very proactive, right? And it's a message of, it's a beneficial message. It's far more productive for you and beneficial for you to allow the wounds, the pains, whatever they may be, to motivate you, to inspire you, to find your strength, rather than feeling like they're slowing you down or you can't go anywhere. So Maddie, that was a really good message for you, for everybody really. That's a powerful message. So think about that. It's way more beneficial to see what it can do to motivate you for shift. So Shadana, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Thank you. We have a super chat from Shadana. I so appreciate you. Maddie, because I still love this other person, it hurts to think of him no longer being in my life. I get that. Well, you know what? Here's a thought for you. I don't ever really feel that I stop loving anybody that's not in my life anymore. But it just shifts it just changes. Instead of trying to go, okay, stop caring, because that's not you. That's not, your mind's never going to accept that, from what I'm hearing. What about it's like, okay, I still care for this person, but it's just different now. Kind of like when someone dies, I still miss them and love them, but now we have a different relationship. It's just different. It's not even a relationship really you're trying to have, but it's more of a shift of the emotion, a transcendence of the emotion, so to speak, versus trying to hold on to the way it was. That might help. It's just a suggestion. Maddie's also saying, even though there was a lot of pain in the relationship, I tend to see the best in people and forgive the shortcomings, because I can see their true nature underneath all the work they have to do. Understanding of others, too unforgiving of myself. There you go. There's your imbalance. You just nailed it. There's your imbalance right there. You're understanding and forgiving of others, but not yourself. You need to write that down somewhere, girl, because that's it right there. It takes me a long time to shift. I've never really stopped loving anyone either. Right. I haven't either. I just had to shift and redirect. Okay. And this would be a good time to practice working to forgiving yourself. And this Chiron energy is very much about forgiving the self as well. It can help you with that. This is about taking it and transcending it to healing. That would also include forgiveness. So this, like I said, this one's deep, I know. And, trying to describe it to you has been like, whew, it's a lot. And so if everybody was to take a few minutes before we go off the air and we think about what is my biggest pain, what is the biggest thing that I am dealing with right now, and what was it from the past? Are they one and the same, or are they two different stories, two different completely things? And what can I do? What are the things I've learned from them? Remember, those are the questions. And if we were to take a moment right now, close your eyes, and just stop and think for a second. Am I actually willing to go there and heal and let go? Or do I want to keep holding this? I'm really throwing that question out, because we have to get over that hurdle sometimes. We want to still hold on to it. And we're like, why do I want to hold on to pain? I don't know why we do that, but a lot of us do. We hold on to it like it's protecting us, like a shield. It's going to protect us if I stay in the pain, then it won't hurt me again. I can, I'm throwing that out there because that's one of the biggest hurdles to get over, and most of us do that. I'm not everybody, but most of us. I've done that. It's like, no. And we have to be willing to go there. If we were like, all right, show me the way, show me what I can learn from this, but truly take some time to jot down what it can teach you. Can it teach you discernment or slowing down like we were talking about? Or abandonment? Okay. But, that abandonment does not define me. That was their journey. That was their issue, whoever abandoned me. But no, that's not who I am. We're not defined by it. Here's the thing. Sometimes we define ourselves by the pain. If we're so attached to it and don't let it go. Now that's our story. That's not your story. That's something you experienced. We're looking for your story. We're looking for that. So I know this was a lot to process. This is a lot to think about. And you won't have all those answers right away. I want you to work with this. Today's one of the strongest days to work with it. For the next day or two is a good, strong time to work with this energy. Don't try to be perfect. Like, I'm going to go work with it. Like, I got to go paint, because that's how I discover things. Believe it or not. I have to go paint to figure out what I want to do in this work. I do this work to figure out what I'm going to go over there. I know, they go back and forth. It's the strangest thing, but it's what works for me. I have to. And then I throw gardening in there. It's grounding for me. So I'm going to be doing something like that. I recommend you find that project or that activity that helps you, analytical. People sometimes say, okay, I'm brain dumping, like they go for walks or runs or exercise. Yeah, I'm just processing thoughts and letting my energy spend out. Whatever helps you do that will be very productive for you in this, if you go into it with an intention. Try that. Robin, thank you so much. Robin, just another super chat. Thank you. Super chats for those new to the show, that helps support us producing the show with the costs and expenses, and we put all of it right back into the show. So I want to say thank you for that. We always appreciate that. Let's see. Okay. Oh, nope. You guys are saying thank you, thank you. Everybody's thank you. All right. So here we go. Don't forget to work with this. Take time to do it. Okay? And one more thing I want to share before everybody goes. Chiron is about healing, yes. But it's more about you becoming better at who you are. Becoming a better you. Because we heal, and oh yeah, that's great, but we want to grow. We want to grow. We want to learn from these wounds. We want to grow. We want to find that we want to find our wisdom, the knowledge. We want to find our strength through it. And when you can go there with that mindset and intention, you're going to reach a greater potential within yourself. And that's what I want for everyone. So thank you guys. I'm going to go work on mine. And I hope that each and every one of you discover something within yourself, something you're worthy of, something that it creates you to be who you are. And just shine. Let the light in. Even if it's just a little bit, let the light in, because you're worth it. You're powerful within your own right. Everyone has the potential to do this. Thanks so much, guys, for listening and joining the show, and we'll see you next time on the Jenn Royster Show. Namaste.
You've been listening to the Jenn Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Dr. Jenn Royster is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Imagine having the ability to use your innate positive energy to dissolve the stuckness in your life, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, through this incredible dynamic show. If you've missed any part of this show or any other show, visit www.jenroyster.com.